Hey there, AJ here, and at the time of this recording, it's a few days before the Super Bowl here in the States, which is pretty cool, and it got me motivated to make some potato skins, but vegan. So we're gonna actually make some loaded potato skins today. It's gonna have a cheese sauce on it. It's gonna have faux bacon bits on it. We're even gonna make our own sour cream, and believe it or not, this entire recipe is very, very, very easy. All you really need is a blender and an oven. So let's get into making your very own loaded potato skins. Hey there, if you're new here, my name is AJ. I make easy, delicious, fast vegan recipes. If that's something you're interested in, or maybe you're just related to somebody in my family and you're like, hey, I want to see how AJ is doing, feel free to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You don't have to do it, but it does help the channel out, and I heard it's the cool thing to do. So let's get started with this, and as always, the recipe is going to be linked in the description below, so you can always check that out if you're wanting to actually make this for yourself. All right, so step one is we are going to bake some potatoes. So you're just gonna I'm gonna take 4, I have giant potatoes. So this is actually gonna be a meal for me and my wife, but this could totally be an appetizer if you had smaller potatoes. And you just gotta bake them. I usually do 425 for about an hour. So I have my potatoes baking right now. They've got maybe 10 to 20 minutes left. So while they're being made, we're gonna make some queso, and it's a super simple queso that we're gonna be able to throw on these baked potatoes to give it kind of an extra amount of fanciness. Alrighty, so step one, get your strong blender out. Save your weak one for other things. We're gonna use the strong blender, the battle-torn one, the one that's, you know, been through some stuff. It's got some stories. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some raw cashews in there. So we're gonna throw a cup of cashews in here. We got our 1 cup of raw cashews. Nothing salted, nothing roasted. I mean, it will work if it's roasted, but it's just gonna taste a little bit more cashewy. I have in a pinch done that, but it's not as good. So if you can avoid it, you know, do a full cup of cashews. We're gonna do half a cup of non-dairy milk. I'm gonna use oat milk today. This also could be like a vegan yogurt if you like that kind of stuff or have that on hand. I ate all the vegan yogurt last night, so oat milk it is, but I actually like it better with oat milk anyway. We're gonna throw a couple tablespoons of veggie stock in there, the equivalent of like 2. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of like a pre-made salsa. So we're gonna do about a half a cup in here, and this is gonna give it the spice, and it's gonna give it the queso-iness, and you're not even really gonna see it at the end, but you will taste it, which is cool. I'm picking medium. If you want spicy queso, go for the flaming hot one. I actually wanted flaming hot queso, but my wife didn't. So here we are. So we're gonna blend these first before we add our spices, because we wanna make sure we have the right consistency. We are gonna add nooch, which will make it just a titch thicker, but we should be pretty close before we even add all those things. So let's go ahead. You're gonna blend this on high. If you don't have a super strong blender, by the way, that's okay, no judgment. That doesn't make you worse or better than anybody, but you could also do this by soaking your cashews overnight and making sure you strain them. That softens them up, and it also gets rid of the cashewy flavor. So if you have time, it's probably worth doing, but I never do it. I'm a little more, this sounds good, let's make it right now. All right, so you can kind of see that this is already basically a queso sauce. So you might want to taste it just to make sure it doesn't taste too much like cashews. If it does, you can add lime or lemon, and that helps cut some of that flavor, in my experience. Or of course, you could do that soaking method, and that'll help too. I mean, that's pretty much there for me. It could probably use a little bit of an acid, so maybe I'll throw some lemon in a minute, but I'm gonna move on to the spices. This works, by the way. You could just take this and throw it on some nachos or whatever, and you have some ratchet, quick, vegan nachos. That's what I would do if it was like 11 p.m. and I was feeling kind of snacky. That might do it. Okay, so let's throw some spices to make it a little more queso flavoring. Now, the one that you definitely need is cumin. Cumin is like what makes things taste, in my opinion, like Mexican flavored. Whether it's tacos or burritos or nachos, cumin is like the star. So we're gonna throw a good amount of cumin in here. And definitely punch your cumin when you're doing it. I'm gonna say something like a teaspoon will do good. And then maybe another teaspoon of chili powder. We're gonna throw about 2 tablespoons of nooch. I might throw a little more. because I really like the cheesy flavor it gives it. Pinch of salt as well. And you're doing all this while your baked potatoes are baking. So right when they pop out, we can just start assembling this. Man, this hair, quarantine hair, am I right? You look like a Karen, like a brown Karen. All right, let's give it another look. So this is already looking like queso. It smells more like it now. And you don't want any grit, so you might have to blend it for a while. And that's fine, just blend it. Be patient. So you got this cashew queso. We're gonna put that to the side. All right, and then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start working on the baked potatoes. Our potatoes, I just pulled them out. You probably saw them magically appear behind me. So let's get to work on those. Alrighty, so these are still a little hot, but we're gonna do it because we're impatient. We wanna make some potato skins, and we know we have a beautiful magical fairy wife and a wonderful family who would love to eat these. So let's get into that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through these potato skins and we are going to scoop out the insides. Now, you could probably do this with a spoon, or a knife. So I've kind of been easy on using the spoon because oftentimes I'll accidentally go through it. So I think often using the knife first to kind of create the outline and then scooping it out is kind of the better strategy for me. So let's start doing that. All right, so we've got these nice and scooped out. We've got the inside saved. You can save this for a potato soup. Maybe I'll make that next video, who knows? So you can make a cool little potato soup. Save these, don't toss them, or even mashed potatoes. Now we're gonna take these skins and we're going to cover them in a little bit of vegan butter. You also could use olive oil, but I like the way the butter tastes. So I'm gonna melt some real quick and brush it on. I'm just gonna grab about a tablespoon of vegan butter, throw it in here, and then we're gonna brush it all over these potato skins. All right, so we're just gonna take our little brush, and if you don't have a brush, use a paper towel, your hands, a towel. We're gonna brush the inside of the potato skin and we're gonna put it face down. We're just gonna do this with all of them. All right, so these are nice and covered. We're gonna throw them in the oven for 15 minutes at 425 Fahrenheit. And while that's happening, we'll start preparing the veggie bacon bits as well. That doesn't take much time at all. And again, a lot of these toppings are optional, right? So there's gonna be sort of a quick version in the recipe below, and there's gonna be like a bougie version. So we're somewhere between bougie and quick. So yeah, that's a good thing. All right, I'm gonna throw this in for 15 minutes. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take about a cup of coconut flakes. Be sure to not get like the desiccated coconut. You actually want like coconut chips or flakes. You'll notice the difference here is that they are bigger. They look almost like they're already bacon bits. All right, so we're gonna throw a cup in here. We want a little over a teaspoon of olive oil here. All right, we're gonna throw a tablespoon of tamari on here. Tamari is just soy sauce. We're gonna throw about a teaspoon of maple syrup in here. A lot of bacon, as you may or may not know, has sugar, has a good amount of sugar in it. So we don't want a whole bunch of sugar, but we want a little bit so that it tastes like bacon. And then the last ingredient I'm actually gonna measure. I advise you measure all of these ingredients, but if you're only gonna measure one, make sure it's this one because a little goes a long way. So this is liquid smoke. Liquid smoke is available at most grocery stores and online, and it's very cheap. I mean, this thing was like $2 at a fancy grocery store. Ooh, it even smells like bacon. All right, so we're gonna put a quarter of a teaspoon in here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and put it on a baking sheet lined with either parchment paper or a silicone baking mat. All right, so now what we're gonna do is once we pull the potato skins, which is gonna be any second now, we're going to lower the temperature to 325 and then throw our coconut bacon in while we start prepping our baked potatoes to look nice and cute. And that way, hopefully it all comes together at the right time. You also could do this coconut bacon before or while the potatoes are baking, but the challenge is you'd need to have a second stove because they require such different temperatures. So we're just gonna wait until those potatoes are ready to go, and then we're gonna throw in the coconut bacon when we start to bring all this together. Alrighty, so we've yanked the coconut bacon out. We're letting it kind of just chill. As it cools, it will actually get crispier and more bacon-like. So we have our baked potatoes, we have our bacon, we have our queso, we got our green onions chopped. We ready. We out here. So let's do this. So basically what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of do a half and half. I'm gonna do half of these with the cashew cheese and half of them with actually pre-bought vegan cheese. We're gonna use the Daiya brand because it melts well, but feel free to do that if you're feeling extra lazy, but you don't need that. So if you live in a place where you're like, AJ, I can't get that stuff, you can make your own and it's gonna be great. All right, so we're just gonna pour it nice and in there. Let's not be afraid to do too much. For a few of these, we're gonna use some sprinkle cheese so you can kind of see the difference. Maybe I'll do a combo on 2 of them. So you've got just a few that you would put here, right? Cheese, and then we'll do one with both. And we'll see which one's the best, because I don't know. I actually haven't tried all of these different versions of it. Alrighty, so all we're gonna do now is you're gonna throw this in the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes until the cheese starts getting a little, bubbly. You may find that the liquid cheese is actually ready sooner, so you may have to yoink those a little bit faster. So 5 to 7 minutes, 425 in your oven, and that's it. So here we go. Alrighty, so I got my potato skin here. I topped it with some salsa, green onion, a little bit of ranch, and a little bit of jalapenos since I'm a spicy boy. So let me jump into this now and give it a little taste. Creamy. The creamy queso really gives it an edge, I feel like, because it's creamy, but it's not liquidy. It's not pouring out of here. It's staying on there and it's giving it that feel of a potato skin. I would say even better. Sometimes those potato skins, they get a little burnt. The coconut bacon pretty much just tastes like bacon bits. I honestly was like, had to double check. The jalapeno green onion bring out the flavor. I love the ranch on there. Ranch or sour cream go really good with these. If you wanted to make a meal, you could throw some Beyond Meat on it or some black beans, something with some protein. So that's it. Yeah, we made some potato skins. So hopefully, I don't know if this video is gonna come out in time for the Super Bowl, but maybe you're just missing those Super Bowl foods and you're just like, you know what? It's never too late. My team lost or my team won. I'm gonna celebrate with some potato skins. So if you try this recipe out, tag me at HeyAJ on all the socials. That would mean a lot. Comment down below what your favorite Super Bowl food is. And if you like this video, like it. And if you never want to miss another one, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you so much for giving me your time and attention. I hope you feel it was really, really worth it. Go do something you're proud of. And if you need some more content to watch, I have a cauliflower wings one, I have a vegan sour cream one, I have a whole bunch of videos. So go ahead and check those out. They're probably popping up right here at the end of the screen. Have an amazing rest of your day.